Welcome. Clicked Up TV. Definitely in the place to be in regards to science and technology. Just wanted to give an update, shed a little bit more light on the 3M lawsuit situation with the military. There's nearly 300,000 military veterans that filed lawsuits against the corporate giant 3M, if you didn't know. Now, what did 3M do and Aero Technologies do? They were responsible for selling the military defective combat arms, earplugs. Now, the combat arm earplug version 2, the CAEv2, left service members and veterans with tinnitus, which resulted in hearing loss. Now, the initial lawsuits by the U.S. Department of Justice against 3M, the litigation began with the whistleblower back in 2018. Now, the lawsuits was revealing that 3M knowingly sold defective dual-ended combat arm earplugs to the United States military. Now, initially, the Department of Justice settled out of court with 3M for a little bit over $9.1 million. But today, 3M is still fighting in court. Litigation after litigation, lawsuit after lawsuit, one of the largest in U.S. history. Now, as of March of this year, just this month alone, there has been 8 jury verdicts totaling over $200 million. That's right, people. $200 million. To date, there has been about 13 trials, and 3M has lost most of those trials. They lost 8 out of those 13 trials this month alone. There has been separate trials in the state of Florida awarding people $50 million in damages. A separate trial in Tennessee ordering another person $8 million to the armed National Guard veteran. Now, this is all public record. You can look it up. I'm not about to dispose these people's names. It's a lotto ticket. But that wasn't easy money. They lost their hearing. That's very serious. Fighting wars. Being around heavy artillery. Now, trials still going on and people are still coming forward. Now, they say it's not too late to pick up a phone and call a lawyer if you're experiencing issues, if you're a veteran or you're active in the military. It was a certain year, I think it was early 2000s. People were affected. A lot of personal injuries and a lot of settlements have been going on in just the month of March alone. Now, the defective 3M combat earplugs that caused the hearing damage and tinnitus were issued, like I said, to the military members in the early 2000s. Between 2003 to 2015, servicemen and women in both combat zones and training zones were issued the 3M combat earplugs. Now, if you were surrounded around gunfire, artillery, explosions, other military ammunition, or loud sounds, you should definitely seek help. Make sure your hearing is all right. And if not, seek a lawyer. Now, these earplugs, they date back as far as I can go. And what I mean by dating back, when they were issuing these to the military, they go back as far as the Iraq War, the war in Afghanistan. and many, many wars, such as the war in North and West Pakistan, the war on terror, the war in Somalia, and other little operations, Operation Ocean Shield in the Indian Ocean. Also the American-led intervention in Libya back in 2011, part of the Libyan crisis. American-led interventions in Iraq between 2014 and 2017. Also interventions in Syria, 2014 up until now. The Yemen civil war that's going on right now, that's been going on since the last 5-6 years. So if you happen to be a military man and woman in the line of duty, in the line of training, in the line of the artillery, the heavy machinery, the loud noise, the loud airplanes and jets, that creates a lot of decimals in your ear that your ear can't handle. Sad part about this, 3M and Aero Technologies were knowingly taking a cheap route to make a profit. But who did they hurt at the end? You. The people that fought for the country. People that fought to make us safe. 3M has some explaining to do. And they are explaining. So keep that bank account open, because there's many cases, and many more cases will be won. It does make you wonder, how are they coming up with the figures of how they're paying out these lawsuits? You got people winning 8 million here, 50 million there, 3 million here, 2 million there, 1 million there. Is it calculated by the month of years? Is it calculated by the duties performed in the military and how much noise you were surrounded? Does it perhaps matter if you were in the line of war, on the front line, whether if it's an active war or if you were in training? What makes the price of settlements in these trials to be in different and various amounts? Like I said, I'm not saying no names, but plaintiffs making or getting a settlement of 7 million, 1 million, 8 million. But this is like 7.1 million, 1.1 million, 8.2 million. It's another person out there with a 13 million, 22 million 500, 110 million, 8 million, 50 million. It's crazy. That's a lot of cash. And you're saying they have over 300,000 cases. And it's still open for more cases to be entered, more cases to be pending, more cases that need to be won or fought. Because either you're going to win or you're going to lose. And yes, they do have a list of losers that didn't get any settlements. I don't know if those were some type of military scam artists, but yeah, they didn't get anything. The defense won that verdict. So yeah, it's looking crazy for the month of March. It was March Madness for the people in the hot seat over there at 3M. So yeah, big dollars being lost, big dollars being lost. So much money, and we still living in poverty all through. I don't even want to go there, but you get my drift. So much money being lost. But will that hurt 3M in the long run? Will all this money hurt 3M in the long run? What it would do to their stocks? So far, people who has vested, they're just waiting patiently because they know this is a big company. So it's going to take a little bit more than 50 million here, 100 million there to scare 3M and to scare their stockholders. So let me know if you like this type of content, and I'll bring more updates, give you the latest news. I'm out.